that.
First and second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. First up on resolutions, we have a resolution authorizing budget mod for the Department of Public Defenders mileage reimbursement, the amount of $4,000. Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Do we expect additional on top of this for the year?
Don't know at this point. ILS reimburses up to 8,000, so removing the additional 4 to be able to claim that from ILS. The mileage kind of goes up and down. We do have 2 vehicles that are the public defenders vehicles, so we try to use those as much as possible. However, we have people who are all over the county for night courts. Fortunately, it's only once or twice a month, so it's not too egregious, but we really just started doing mileage this year. Previously, there had been very few claims, and so I don't have a benchmark to set it against, so it's kind of a wait and see and go from there.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Resolution 2 is a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Walker Capital LLC for valuation services at Sioux City Station for the taxes.
Second.
Okay, first and second. Any discussion?
Will there be an abstract with the license?
You want an informational memo?
We'll have a copy of the contract when we.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. Resolution 3, it's a resolution authorizing submission of the New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act grant application for New York State Community Development Block Grant for the town of Valmy on New York State 3 Sewer Extension Project. This is to go down Route 3 from the Valmy Elementary School to Bristol Hill Landfill. And estimates for cost is $7,040,000.
Second.
First and second. Any discussions?
Is this grant expected to cover most of the costs? All the costs? Percentage of costs? This grant, how much of the cost would this grant cover?
Of the,
Sewer extension?
that I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. Kyle, do you happen to know?
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. What was the question?
I don't know how much it will cost, or how much it will cover of it. Again, this needed an informational memo.
How many miles is it?
Goes from the airport.
What's the price of mileage?
Taxi number.
2 miles maybe?
Yeah, 5 or 6 miles. Yeah, 5 or 6 miles.
Valmy.
I think it's gonna cost more than my estimate.
Oh, that's probably
Estimated cost is $7 million. Yeah.
That's my estimate.
Yeah, it's only a couple miles from the, as I recall, the elementary schools, just a couple, 2 or 3 miles from the Bristol.
Good.
So it's pretty short.
7.
Yeah.
No, who's, this is the second one now that we've asked for informational stuff for the resolution. So who's presenting the resolutions to the committee that's not presenting the informational?
I'll talk to him.
I'm just saying, because you get questions about, what it's about. The public's gonna have questions about it, and it's not presented to the committee, so it shouldn't even have been presented.
Well, this is to submit a grant application.
Yeah, I know, but there should be an informational portion with the resolution, Rich, okay? Informing the committee and everybody else what it actually covers, and it's not, okay?
I'm pretty sure it's on the computer though, but I don't have my computer here, unfortunately.
Not on the computer that I have.
Mark's
Okay.
gonna-
All right, I'm just saying, you know, that there's, things are getting too lax today. Just present it, it's okay. It's not right. I know I'm being a hemorrhoid, that's too bad.
Phil just went down to get Mark, he's gonna come up and explain.
Mark's on his way up. Yeah, just do it.
Sorry, hi, good morning, everyone.
No, I love everybody.
Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry. What can I do?
Not Mark's there. Mark, the committee had questions about the Route 3 sewer extension grant.
Okay.
How long the route is and how much will this grant cover of the $7 million?
The grant is up to $2 million. If we get co-funding, it's $2 million. If we don't, it's 1.5. But we have something lined up for co-funding. I'm not sure how many miles it is without looking it up.
Just Google this, 2.6 miles.
Okay.
2.6 miles.
Okay.
That's why it's 7.
If we're gonna get $2 million in grant funding?
We have one grant that is pretty much assured for $1 million. We're doing the block grant for $2 million, so that's $3 million. And then we're also applying for the CFA loans or grants. So we're hoping to get it fully funded.
The 7 million you're putting in for the resolution that we talked about.
What's that?
The 7 million,
It was the project cost, yes.
that's the estimated total cost?
Yes. Yeah.
Answer everybody's questions?
Yeah. And the biggest thing about this is the project's not going to go forward unless we have all the proper funding and the legislature's happy with it. So you guys will have the final say, and ladies, on it proceeding.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm good.
Everybody's
You good with that?
All right. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. Reporting departments.
I think we got the nuclear first.
What's that?
I think the nuclear is next on the agenda.
Yeah. no,
Okay, I'm sure everybody's aware of the big announcement that was made a week ago today. The governor made an announcement that regarding nuclear power. So what I wanted to do is get a fact packet together for this committee, and all the legislators will also get it too, because I'm sure the constituents are going to have questions. It's going to be a topic people are talking about a lot in the coming weeks and months. So I just wanted to start it off with a packet of what we know and what we don't know. We heard something we haven't heard from New York State in a long time about how great nuclear power is. She was in out west, I think, out by the hydro plants, made the announcement that she wants to, she's directing New York Power Authority to develop and construct an advanced nuclear power plant in New York State, in upstate New York. And in her announcement, she cited new electric demand, such as Micron and the subsidiary industries that are going to come in around it, and said that nuclear power is the best way to generate zero-emission electricity. And of course, the state has set some pretty heavy goals for being zero emission by 2040 on 100% of the power. Key in her remarks is that the candidate locations will be assessed for suitability based on public safety, strength of community support, compatibility with existing infrastructure, as well as skilled labor and land availability. So how do we measure up? Well, in public safety, we already have the existing radiological response plans. We have the siren system in place. We already have a well-trained and experienced emergency management personnel. We all drill twice a year. In terms of strength of community support, Oswego County is nuclear friendly, always has been. I don't think there's an issue there. Existing infrastructure, we've got the transportation infrastructure in place. Pretty much all of the transmission might need to be upgraded a little bit. The emergency notification system is there, and the water intakes are already here. In terms of skilled labor, we have the skilled trades here, some of which may have been young folks when 9 Mile 2 was built, but they're still around, so we have a veteran skilled trades workforce that's built a nuclear plant before. And we have the professional nuclear workforce already here because of the 3 reactors that are here. And the last point she made is land availability. 9 Mile Point has ample land for expansion, and importantly, it is already federally approved as a nuclear construction site. Other sites are going to have to go through a whole ream of testing that could probably take a year or 2 just to get approval. So we're ahead of the game there. So here's what we know. The governor has said she wants a gigawatt, or that's 1,000 megawatts of new zero-emission electricity available for the state's grid, and to do it by advanced nuclear power. Advanced nuclear power, though, can mean several things. Included in that definition, it can be a large next-generation reactor, a big one that produces all 1,000 megawatts. Advanced nuclear power also refers to SMRs, or small modular reactors. These produce far less, they're smaller, quicker to build, and the theory behind those is you can put one in a small community and it would run that community for you, or you can build several, daisy chain them together to produce the power. So you're looking at a possibility between those two of one single site or multiple sites chosen around the state. Advanced nuclear also refers to microreactors. These are the things like Navy ships or those that are proposed to power building complexes, things of that nature. Also in advanced nuclear, there are multiple ways to cool the reactor. One is an advanced boiling water reactor. There are also models out there that cool by using a gas, liquid metal, or a salt compound. So what this eventually is going to be, we don't know. An advanced boiling water reactor would probably be best for us because we have the lake and water intake. And we also know that the state, as I've mentioned, sets some pretty lofty goals: 100% zero emission electricity generation by 2040. We of course hope that plant would be built long before that and then it would be here. We also know that NYPA will be, in the next couple of months, issuing a request for information from, we assume, companies and communities. The ones from the companies are going to ask for technology, economic, and site feasibility analysis. And from communities, will be asked to formally express their interest in some way. We don't know that process yet, though. We also know that there are other communities that are talking about that they want it too. One is Fort Drum has been talking about it, the Watertown area. Of course, they're also on the lake, but a small modular could power Fort Drum. Another county that is interested is Chautauqua, where the Dunkirk plant is. That is a coal plant owned by NRG that was mothballed about 10 years ago. It's sort of an eyesore out there. They've been looking for a way to repurpose it. It may or may not be large enough. It probably has the land area that would be needed, but again, that would be repurposing a facility. You'd have to go through the site, the land use siting and research for nuclear construction. Very different from coal. But I know that county executive out there is very, very interested in this and has been talking about trying to convert that to nuclear for 2 or 3 years now. We also know that Constellation Nuclear and the New York State Energy Research Development Authority, or NYSERDA, they have submitted a grant to the federal government, grant proposal for an early site permit on an advanced nuclear plant at 9 Mile Point. That happened several months ago. That is probably a good thing in our favor, that Constellation and the state are already working on this. The governor has indicated they want private sector involvement in this project, but she won't tip her hand in terms of site or what companies may be involved. But again, that's another leg up for us. But there's a lot we don't know. We don't know what the timeline is for this. Are they looking at trying to get this done within 10 years or by the 2040 date? Don't know. All we do know is that within probably in the next two months, I've heard, possibly 3, they're going to get this request for information, request for proposals out. We don't know what process they're going to use for site selection. There's certain things they have to do per NRC guidelines in terms of selecting sites, but who's going to make that decision? Is it going to be NYSERDA? Is it going to be public service? Is it going to be the governor? Is it going to be a special task force set up for it? We don't know that. Big unknown, is the plant going to be publicly owned or privately owned? In other words, is it going to follow the model that Fitzpatrick originally was, owned and operated by the state, which would mean it would not be taxable? And if that's the route, we need to think about how post-community benefits and what we might want to demand out of that. If it is going to be privately owned, well, then that throws in another tax negotiation that we love to do, that we're good at. We don't know yet. We know, I think it's a pretty strong possibility that Constellation proposed, but we don't know who else is out there that might do this. And we don't know, other than the 2 I've already mentioned, what other communities are going to come forward and throw their hat in the ring. Don't know how it's going to be funded, and we don't know how much opposition there might be either from anti-nuclear groups or within the state legislature. We haven't had much opposition or anti-nuclear sentiment up here for a long time, but there is some strong groups downstate. Are they going to be content that it's going to be built in upstate, or are they going to refocus attention on whatever community is chosen? We don't know that. So that's what we know. What we don't know, what I've also included in this packet for you is some of the statements and press releases that have come out. The governor's press release is in there, which states the goals and almost everything we know so far. We issued a press release as a county expressing our interest already, but again, there's going to be some formal process to do that by. We don't know if it's going to be a simple resolution or some type of proposal we have to make. The minority leader of the legislature has come out in favor of this, and as Oswego County is a site, so his statement is in there. Constellation has also formally issued a statement in favor of it, and seems to indicate that 9 Mile Point is where they would want it. There is a coalition of labor and municipalities and business groups that came together quickly to put a news release together in support of it, so I included that. That indicates the level of support out there from the trades and other governments, but also shows you other communities that are interested in this. The talking points, I put in some fact sheets about Constellation's nuclear fleet, including the Ginna plant, how much megawatts all the plants they own produce, and that they are, among all 4 reactors, they are already producing 47% of the state's zero-emission electricity. So that, if anybody has any questions, or if there's additional information you want me to research and put into this packet before I distribute it to the legislature, please let me know.
You worked all weekend on this.
I work Friday afternoon. I'll answer the question. What's that? I'll answer the question.
DMV this month compared to last year, this month we're up a little bit there. Our lines are coming down slightly. The Real ID, most people had received it when needed to, or aren't in a panic like the first wave of folks were. But remember, you do need that Real ID to get into federal buildings and onto any planes. So if you don't have a Real ID and you're planning on traveling, you better get to DMV. Clerk's office, we're plugging away at it. We've had still working with the State Office of Court Administration to put the filings for county court online, criminal court. Hoping we will be able to see some movement on that in the next few months here. I'm hoping by the end of the year we can have that all up and running. But that's Office of Court Administration, and you never know what each day is going to bring with it. So I'll tell you better as time goes on. So we are lobbying pretty hard to get that e-filing, if you will, for the office. It'll be much easier for my staff, and much easier for the lawyers and the clients all the way around. But time will tell, and we'll keep you posted. We've been very successful in Supreme with it, so we just need the state to realize that we'll be successful in prison.
Yeah, you're just a little ahead on additional hours of your budget. Do you have any concerns with that for the rest of the year?
Every time I use additional hours, I make you money. So I may have to move a little bit of funds over to that line, but our revenues are up. So we were last month 30% above last year at this point. So.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Thanks, Terry. Yep. Next up, we have strategic initiative.
I guess I'll do that. So I just sent out all the quarterly reports for ARPA this morning for people to return back. We've got about 20 to 25 that are closed out, and then the remaining ones are still either in progress or need to be closed out. So I'm getting around to those 1 or 2 a week, the best that I can when there's time for those. The broadband project is moving forward. Our RFP for fiber is out, and our RFP for the huts that will go at all 7 locations are out. All of our polls have been sent and fielded through TRC, so they're doing the make ready on those for those to then go to like Verizon, Windstream, and the telcos and stuff like that for make ready to come back. So that project's moving along, still on schedule. All the legislators, I think, got one of these in their mailbox. If anybody else wants one, feel free. I have a bunch. They're the first public information, if you will, about the project. Tourism has a bunch. They'll be at the county fair and other events that they go to. But there's a QR code on the back. If folks scan that, it'll take you to the Oswego County landing page that Empire has set up. You can enter your information and stay up to date with when service will be available in your area based on your address and things like that. And if more people in certain areas that aren't on our route, show interest, then there could be private builds out to those areas as well. So that's kind of where we're at with that stuff right now. Questions about any of that? Or?
Anybody else have any questions? All right, thanks. Next up, we have real property.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Final assessment rules should be filed by tomorrow, if not today. We're finishing them all up today as far as I know. But then those will be out. We like to try and have them all filed on the same day because it controls the date that you can file for small claims assessment review, because it's 30 days after the filing of the roll. So if they're filed tomorrow, then you have until July 31st. So ideally that having them all the same date would be good, so you're not guessing which town is 30 days from the filing date. The assessors have had some complications this month with getting into the system. Just to make the committee aware, we, the county, host the database. IT manages their access over the internet to it, and there's been some problems with them getting access this month. Supposedly it was resolved on Friday, so hopefully they were able to get in and finish things up this weekend. But if not, if there's any delay in the final assessment roll filings, that would be the reason why. The good news is that on Friday I got a hands-on demonstration of the state's new system. They're taking it into their IT department at the state level, and that's rolling out this fall. And testing begins on it. I and a committee of other people around the state will be testing it in the coming weeks. So I should know if it's ready for us to convert to in the fall, so that our local IT won't have to manage this anymore. So other than that, if there's any questions, feel free to let me know.
Any idea on the change of the overall assessment yet?
Everyone dropped about 5%, I would say. 5% on average was the equalization rate change, except for the town of West Monroe and the city of Oswego, which both stayed at 100%. Their final equalization rates were actually certified this month, which is pretty early for the state. So we might even have that resolution just next month to pass, so that you'll know what those full values would be.
So do you have any idea of total assessed value in the county?
Total assessed value in the county?
Yeah, did it change? What?
No, not significantly.
No.
Probably up about 2%, like it usually is.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
One more. Is there you expect a change, a cost associated with this conversion when their programs are approved?
Nope. The state has said that they're going to keep the cost the same, which actually the county has no cost for using the system. The towns pay that cost. And they've said that they're going to keep the pricing the same because it's just based on having access to a system. So that's a legacy system we're using now. The new one will be the same system, same pricing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, we have a public defender.
First, I'd like to start by introducing Chris O'Young. She's our new first assistant. She brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the office, and we're very excited to have her. Along personnel lines, we have 2 law grads who have accepted employment. They are gearing up to take their bar exam at the end of the month. Fortunately, we won't know whether they pass or not until the end of October, early November. So it's a waiting game, but we're excited to have them. It's always good to have people coming in, not leaving the office. So as far as the office, we are right now at about 1,500 cases, which is on par for what we did last year. We're bringing more people on. Hopefully we can start taking over more of the representation from the assigned counsel program. But again, we don't want to jump the gun. We need to make sure our law grads have passed the bar before we start counting them towards totals. And we are continuing to actively recruit, looking for more attorneys.
Yes.
How many positions are still vacant?
We have 5 positions vacant, and we are losing an attorney in 2 weeks.
Hey, Brad, I was in a meeting a week and a half ago, and it was brought up that ILS is proposing lower caseload standards. Have you heard anything about that? That would mean we'd have to hire more?
I don't want to scare anybody, but
I understand.
the numbers are ridiculous. If they were to adopt the proposed numbers, we would probably need double the number of attorneys than originally estimated.
ILS did ask for comment from the chief defenders from each county. They sent out a statewide mass email asking to fill out a survey and for us to provide feedback for caseload standards. So I cannot imagine that any county would be in support of the caseload standards that they are proposing. Because it would require every county to double the amount of attorneys that they have.
How do they develop that standard?
They put a panel together of experts and criminal defense attorneys, and
all attorneys.
they had many meetings.
Really?
Thank you very much. Next up, we'll have a sign out.
Thank you. So this today actually marks the end of another claim period. So for the next probably 4 weeks, I will be working on submitting our claims to get reimbursed from the state. We have about 6 going at any point in time for our Sun Council, so we'll be focusing on that. I do imagine that I will be in front of the committee next month in August requesting a budget modification for more funding. We are nearing the cap of our legal fee line, and I certainly don't want anybody to go without a paycheck, so I will be proactive in requesting the budget mod. I don't know how much money I'll be requesting. I want to look at the average pay periods we've done this year. I want to look at if there are any trials that have occurred with a pending bill waiting out there, because those are typically very high. And I also want to look at upcoming trials to see if we have anything coming down the pipeline. So at this point, I don't have any figure in mind, but I will be working on that as well.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Thank you. Next up, we'll have the board officials.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're in the process of wrapping up last week's primary election, about with 2,300 voters across 39 districts. It was our first time working an election during a heat wave. We're very grateful to emergency management, to the health department, and to buildings and grounds for making sure that the poll workers had everything that they needed to get through the day, frankly, and safely. We're also in the process of developing a continuity of operations plan for the future, because this will probably become less rare as time goes on. We expect to be certified probably today or tomorrow. We have to do ask the David and Bill Congress team reviews today. We've scheduled hand counts for close races for July 8th, so everything should be set by then. And we just turn our attention to our move. We're looking forward very much to becoming Brad's new neighbors.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Maybe for Phil, the cost of the move, where is that in the budget? Their move?
Cost of your move should be, I haven't seen a budget that you, what are you gonna need?
Well, at the moment, we've reserved the trucks ourselves. It's not clear to us how any of that is budgeted.
We've asked a lot of different departments, but.
Yeah.
So right now, that's all we have. We expect there to be.
We probably have enough in the capital project covered.
We're bringing in some of our staff because we're moving our voting machines and our proprietary equipment. So there's going to be some cost there. But a lot of it's being done by buildings and grounds as well.
We should be enough in the capital project.
Thank you. Treasurer,
Yep, the only thing, a couple of things, foreclosure auction occurred for the properties, and the total was $2.8 million. Bittersweet, taking people's property. However, they can apply for surplus funds after we go through all the gyrations of getting it into a bank account and all the court papers that the county attorney works on. So it was actually for a lot less properties. It was a substantial amount for a lot less properties that we usually have. And I don't know, a lot of the feds, actually, the clawback, they had, for the ARPA funds, you had to make sure you had the paperwork turned in. The municipalities had to make sure the paperwork was turned in, or else I have to go in and claw it back. Good news is, the county's all set. Municipalities did it. So that's excellent. But last thing you want to do is go to a municipality and ask for the money back. So other than that, it sounds like there was quite a few areas in the state that didn't. But it's not our worry for that. Other than that, we have good old ethanol plant. This is the 12th, so we have one more auction to go. And get your millions ready and start bidding on the 12th, put it together. And right now we have one bid of $2.8 million. So it'll only go up from there.
All right. If nobody else bids, we're in good shape.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
We received the $2 million non-refundable on the last extension to be paid towards the tax, so we went pretty close to what's owed.
Thank you very much. I guess,
Yeah, Frank.
Frank.
On the auction, were there any properties for land bank in
No,
what we had?
what it is we're working with the land bank now to get an agreement between the county and the land bank. So the properties, there were 4 withheld, and if we come up with an agreement, then we will proceed with turning that over through the process of going through the legislature. If not, they will go on to the auction that we may be having one in maybe October, November timing, because there's other situations going on. So if I wanted to hold them back, we get an agreement, then we'll do that.
Okay.
I mean, based on your approval, obviously.
Right,
but
well, that's why I asked.
we have to try it. We have to try the land banks to see if we can get a system process done.
Something that helps the county, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe one of them's a demo.
That's correct, yep. So it's a give and take. That's what it's going to be that way, I think, with the land bank.
We've given them a draft agreement. One of the questions is how do you value, if they haven't gone to 2 auctions and failed, does the treasurer determine the value? Do we get an appraisal? Because there still is a surplus component on some of these properties that would need to be addressed and came to the court of trust. So,
Are we looking for a proper motion? First.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.